whatever you are desiring, that will be fulfilled. So then, by the blessings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, Srinivas Acharya appeared in this world as the son of Chaitanya Das. So, Srinivas Acharya, he went to Navadvip Dham, and he performed Navadvip Dham Parikrama under the guidance of Ishan Thakur. So Ishan Thakur was directly serving Sachi Maya and Mahaprabhu. So at that time, he was hoping to meet with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and some of his associates, but Mahaprabhu and many of his associates had left the world by the time he arrived. So, but there was one associate there in Navadvip Dham, and that was Gadadhar Pandit. So he was very happy to go and meet with Gadadhar Pandit, but what kind of condition was Gadadhar Pandit in at that time, after the disappearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He actually, all Mahaprabhu's associates were completely broken-hearted, and they were plunged into an ocean of separation from Mahaprabhu. And this included Gadadhar Pandit, who was practically in a dying condition. He was feeling so much separation. It said when he was breathing, his breath was like fire. So actually, Gadadhar Pandit, he was just simply chanting the names of Gaur, 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 like this, and he didn't know if it was day or night. So at that time, Mahaprabhu appeared in his heart, and he told him, a Brahmin will come to you. His name is Srinivas Acharya, and actually he's coming to see me. But when he finds out that I've gone, he'll be completely distraught, completely devastated, and he'll be plunged into a deep ocean of separation. So at that time, then, when he's feeling so much pain and he's about to die, then I want you, Gadadhar, to teach him Srimad Bhagavatam, just like you taught me. You should teach him. So in this way, your instructions may save him. So then, having some seva to do that was given directly by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then some life came back into the body of Gadadhar Pandit. Actually, service is the life of the devotees, and we can think that after many, many lives, we have maybe millions of lives, we've finally got this opportunity to come to this path of devotional service and come under the guidance of Sri Guru and Vaishnavas. And under their guidance, we're getting this very rare opportunity to serve Thakurji, beautiful Shri Radha Govinda, Sachinandan Gaurahari and Shri Jagannath Dev here in this temple. So actually knowing that this opportunity is very, very rare and it's not so easily bestowed upon just anyone, we can very much value this opportunity to serve and feel ourselves very greatly fortunate and truly blessed by our Gurudev and all Vaishnavas. So don't ever think that, maybe sometimes we're tired. It's true. But at least try not to be lazy when it comes to the service of Shri Guru and Vaishnavas and Thakurji. So, what was I saying about? So Gadadhar Pandit, he received this opportunity of service directly from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he was just waiting for that time when Srinivas Acharya would arrive. So it so happened, sometime later he arrived, and when he discovered that Mahaprabhu had left, then he became completely devastated. So he was crying and crying and feeling so much separation from Satchidananda Gaurari. And then he somehow discovered Gadadhar Pandit. So actually it was Mahaprabhu that came to him in his dream and said, "Oh, you should go to Gadadhar Pandit. He will help you, he will pacify you." So when he came to Gadadhar Pandit, he offered his pranams, and he was sitting in front of Gadadhar, but Gadadhar was so absorbed in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and remembering him and his qualities and pastimes that he wasn't even coherent. So although Srinivas was sitting right there before him, he couldn't see him, he couldn't hear him, nothing. He was just simply staring and continuing to chant the name of Gaurahari. So then Srinivas, he was sitting there waiting for a long time. And then he finally got the opportunity when Gadadhar somehow came a little bit into his external senses. And then he introduced himself. He said, "Oh, my name is Srinivas." Then Gadadhar Pandit, when he came into external consciousness, he realized, "Oh yes, Mahaprabhu has sent him. He told me that he would come and I must serve him." So then Gadadhar told Srinivas that, "Oh, I will now teach you Srimad Bhagavatam." So he took his book and he opened that book, and as soon as he began to read, then a flood of memories of Satchidananda Gaurahari came into his mind and heart. How he used to also teach Mahaprabhu, and how Mahaprabhu was so eager to hear him speak his Bhagavad Gita. So then Gadadhar, he couldn't, his throat became choked up and he couldn't say anything. So that Srinivas Acharya was patiently waiting. And Gadadhar, he said, "Look, I cannot." He handed in the book and he said, "You read it." So then Srinivas, he took that Srimad Bhagavatam and he tried to read it, but it was completely illegible because of the tears of Mahaprabhu and the tears of Gadadhar Pandit. It completely soaked the pages. So that book, it started to fall apart, and Srinivas could not read it. So then he looked towards Gadadhar Pandit with some hope in his eyes for some answer what to do. Then Gadadhar, he said, "Look, you should just go to Navadvip and find some professional scribe, and he can write out the 18,000 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam on palm leaves. And then, once that is complete, once that you have that copy in your hands, then you can bring it to me, and then I'll teach you. So then Srinivas, it took him a month to go all the way to Navadvip Dham. And he got hold of a copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then it took him 1 month to come back. But when he arrived back, it was around the time of Rath Yatra. Rath Yatra was about to take place. But then Gadadhar Pandit, he sunk into deep ocean of separation from Mahaprabhu at that time. Why? Because a flood of memories of Mahaprabhu, how he would chant and dance in ecstasy during this Rath Yatra, came into his heart. And then his body became like paralyzed. He couldn't do anything. And he was just crying and crying in separation. So actually he only maintained his body, he only maintained his life in order to bestow the mercy upon Srinivasacharya. So I think it was the day before Rath Yatra, Gadadhar Pandit, he could not tolerate the separation from Mahaprabhu any longer. And then he absorbed in thoughts of Mahaprabhu, he left this world. So then Srinivasacharya, he arrived in Puri with that copy of Srimad Bhagavatam, very eager to hear it from the lotus lips of Gadadhar Pandit. But to his dismay, he found that Gadadhar Pandit was no longer there. And then he was plunged into a very deep ocean of separation, crying and crying. I've missed my opportunity. So, Srinivasacharya, he missed the opportunity to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He missed the opportunity to meet many of his associates. And even when he got to meet Gadadhar Pandit, it was for a brief moment. And arriving back, he lost that opportunity. So Srinivasacharya is always remembering the associates of, always remembering Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the associates of Mahaprabhu. He would cry and cry in separation. So next he approached Abhiram Thakur, who had a whipping stick that he would carry around, and he named that Jaya Mangala. So whomever he used to beat with that whip, then they will be blessed with Krishna Prem. So he approached Srinivasacharya on 2 occasions, and he whipped him with that whipping stick. And then his wife Srinivasacharya's wife was there, and she said, no, 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 please, don't do like this. He's just a small child. He won't be able to tolerate so much Krishna prem. So like this, Srinivasacharya got so much mercy from Abhiram Thakur. And also, we know that Srinivasacharya went to Vrindavan, and he studied the Shastras under the guidance of who? Jiva Goswami, along with Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda. So after his studies were completed, then Jiva Goswami gave him the name Acarya. Before that, he was just known as Srinivas, but now he got the title Acarya, Srinivas Acharya. And what does Acharya mean? Acharya means that one who teaches by example. So Srinivasacharya, he was ideal Vaishnava and very near and dear associate of Mahaprabhu, and very near and dear to all his associates. And he served the mission of Mahaprabhu in so many ways. So in this way, he was Acharya in the true sense of the word. But he was given that title on behalf of the Vishwa Vaishnava Raja Sahib by Jiva Goswami. And Shyamananda, his name before was Dukhi Krishna Das, but he was awarded the name Shyamananda by Jiva Goswami, and Narottam Das, he was awarded the name Thakur Maharshai by Jiva Goswami also. So together they performed Braj Mandal Parikrama, and they went to so many Leela Stalis of Radha and Krishna in Braj. So one time Jiva Goswami, he ordered that the Gaudiya Vaishnava Granths, the books of the Goswamis, they be taken by Narottam Das Thakur, Shyamananda and Srinivasacharya to Bengal for preaching. So they carried it in large box on a bullock cart, and they were going. It would take so many days. So Srinivas Acharya was appointed to be in charge of those books. So that was a big responsibility. Then on the way, they would stay in different places each night. So they would take it in turns to guard the books. Then finally, they reached this place, Vishnupur. And in that town, that village, there was a dacoit king. His name was Virham Vir. So, often he would consult with his astrologers and see, if there was any good places to loot so that he could get some valuables. So then one time this astrologer, he was looking, and he saw that actually there was some priceless, he said, there's some priceless jewels that will be passing through your kingdom. So the king ordered that those priceless jewels would be taken. So when Srinivas, Shyamananda and Narottam Das were resting, and they were thinking, this is in Vishnupur, this is a Hindu town, so it's not likely that any dacoits or thieves will come and steal anything. So they were quite relaxed, and they all were very tired from their journey, so they fell asleep. They fell into a deep sleep. But in the middle of the night, then these dacoits sent by the king, they looted all those books very easily. They took from the bullock that bullock cart full of books, full of the Goswami literatures. So then, actually, when they brought this great treasure to the king was very excited. But when they opened the box, they saw, what? What is this? And they saw all these scriptures. And they thought, oh no. And they became very disappointed. And they handed them over to the king, and the king said, okay, well, it wasn't quite what I expected, but anyway, we'll see if there's any use for these books, and just keep them aside, you know. So then, when Narottam, Srinivas, and Shyamananda, they woke up, and they discovered that the bullock cart with all the Gaudiya Vaishnava grants had disappeared. They looked everywhere and they couldn't find it anywhere. They realized, oh, it must have been stolen. So they were completely devastated, and they became mad in separation from the manifestation of the heart of the Goswamis, these beautiful jewels of their writings. So Srinivas Acharya, he was lamenting so much and repenting. Oh, my Guru Varga gave me these books. They gave me this great responsibility, and now I've let them down by sleeping out of mere laziness. So he was condemning himself. Why did I not take more care? So then Srinivas Acharya, he actually considered both Jiva Goswami and Gopal Bhatta Goswami his gurus. Gopal Bhatta Goswami was his Diksha Guru, and Jiva Goswami was his Shiksha Guru. But he held them in very high regard, both equally. So then he resolved, I will not leave this place unless and until those books are found. I will simply stay here until they can be found. And otherwise, if they cannot be found, I will simply leave my body in this place. So he made this vow. So then he sent Narottam Das Thakur and Shyamananda Prabhu to Bengal to search for those books and also preach in those areas through the medium of Kirtan. So, although that king, Virambir, he was a dacoit, he was also a devotee. So he would arrange for this Pandit to recite Srimad Bhagavatam in his palace, in the assembly, every day. And one time Srinivas Acharya, he was passing and he entered that assembly. And he was dressed in very simple Vaishnava dress. And he entered that assembly in a very humble mood, and he sat down. And he began hearing this Pandit reciting Srimad Bhagavatam 10th canto. He was reciting Brahmara Gita. So then he wasn't speaking so deeply. But Srinivas Acharya at the end, he very humbly requested, oh, can I say something? Then that Pandit said, yes, of course. King was also there, yes, you go ahead. So then Srinivas, he started to speak the commentaries that he had heard from Sanatana Goswami and Jiva Goswami on this Brahmara Gita. So he spoke very, very deeply, with his heart melting and tears flowing from his eyes. And the whole audience who was hearing those commentaries, they also began to weep, including that king. his heart melted and he began to weep. So then the king, he was very, very impressed with Srinivasacharya, and afterwards he approached him and he said, "Oh, actually you're speaking so nicely. I want that you can speak every day on Srimad Bhagavatam. Please, you come in this assembly and speak like you've spoken today. I want to hear, we all want to hear." So Srinivasacharya, he agreed, and he would be speaking on Srimad Bhagavatam. But whenever he would speak, he would cry, he would burst into tears. And after some days, then the king observed that, "Oh, I see that every day you're crying when you speak on this Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Please tell me." So then Srinivas, he explained that actually he was remembering that his Guru Varga, they'd given him this great responsibility to take these books, these Vaishnava grants to Bengal. But on the way, they were stolen. And till now, he said they haven't been found. So then the king said, "Oh, I have these books. You come and take a look." And then Srinivasacharya, he went. The king opened the box of those books, and Srinivas, he looked, and he saw those very same books, and he was so relieved. He was so joyous in relief that at last those books had been found. And actually, I forgot to mention that king, Viramvar, he was so impressed with Srinivasacharya, he begged him for initiation. And Srinivasacharya, he gave that king initiation. So after the books had been discovered, then Srinivas, he sent word, he sent the news to Vrindavan that at last these Goswami grants had been discovered. So actually earlier, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he was very worried that Chaitanya Charitamrita had disappeared. And now that when he heard the books had been stolen, he thought, that's it. Chaitanya Charitamrita has now disappeared from this world. Can you imagine? But actually, he didn't realize that his servant had made a copy. So then he became completely pacified when he was informed of this. So then when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami and all the Vaishnavas, the Goswamis in Vrindavan had heard that those grants had been recovered, they became so happy. So in this way, the books of Jiva Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, all the Goswami literatures had been discovered by the intense eagerness of Srinivasacharya, how he would not give up until he found those books. So he had such great determination. Why? Why did he have such great determination? Only due to his love for and nishta in his gurus. So like this, we can try to follow in the footsteps of Srinivasacharya and develop such guru nishta that if our gurus Dikshaguru or Shikshagurus give us any instruction, they give us any responsibility, then we can think that do or die. Like Srila Bhakti Srila Sridhar Maharaj used to always say, do or die. That I must accomplish this service. Otherwise, what is the use of continuing my life if I cannot fulfill the orders, the instructions of my Gurudevs or Vaishnavas? Then I may as well give up my life. This was the mood of Srinivasacharya. So, Srinivasacharya, he established Madan Mohan deity there, in that very place, and it still remains there until this day. And when that kingdom was attacked, by some Muslim soldiers, then it's said that Madan Mohan, the deity of Madan Mohan himself, by his arrangement, there was a cannon that was released, and it completely destroyed the enemy. So they couldn't do anything. They couldn't even get near Madan Mohan, what to speak of destroying the temple. So that cannon, it was named Dal Mandal, and that cannon is still there today. So Srinivasacharya, he had one disciple. His name was Ramachandra Kaviraj. So he received so much mercy from his guru, Srinivas. What happened just after Ramachandra Kaviraj got married, then he was like in, Vedic marriages, there's always like a grand procession, like so many playing drums, singing, dancing, everything, So this was going on, and there was many people praising the couple for appearing so beautiful. They were saying, oh, they're as beautiful as Lakshmi Narayan themselves, and all like this. However, at that time, Srinivasacharya happened to be in the vicinity, and he saw that wedding going on. So instead of praising the couple along with everyone else, then he started to speak out. He said, actually, with his own money, a man buys illusion. He ties a noose around his neck and considers himself, his life a success. So Ramachandra Kaviraj, he happened to hear these words, the very, very strong words of Srinivasacharya entered his ears and pierced his heart. So much so that he began to deeply contemplate how he was becoming so much entangled in this world. So then when he returned home the next day, he thought, whatever happens, I must meet with Srinivasacharya. I must find him and meet with him. So he was searching, and he came across Srinivasacharya, and he fell at his lotus feet, and he said, oh, Guruji, I've come. Then he surrendered at his lotus feet, and he never returned. So Srinivasacharya, he introduced many melodies in so many kirtans, and he also wrote this song that we were singing this morning, Sad Goswami Astakam. So in that Astakam, he brilliantly glorified the Goswamis in so many ways, describing their life history, describing all their qualities, how they were doing bhajan very deeply. In the last verse, it says, Hey Vade Bhajade Vike Chalalite Hey Nanda Suno Kota. So there he's writing, Oh Radhe, oh Radhe, where are you? Are you somewhere in the forest on the banks of Yamuna? Or are you there in Radhakund? Or Govardhan? Oh, my beloved Radhika, where are you? Oh Lalite, oh Vishakhe, where are you? Like this. He was writing in a deep mood of separation. So, actually I got a little carried away. Srinivas Acarya. I'll try to speak something on the glories of Madhavendra Puri Pad. So, Madhavendra Puri, he's the root of the first sprout of Prema Bhakti. That means Prema Kalpa Taru, the desire tree of Krishna Prem. So he's actually the root of Brajras. And we were hearing yesterday about the glories of Prahlad Maharaj. But what kind of devotee is Prahlad Maharaj, you know? I said the other day. Can anyone remember? He's Sanatana Goswami Pad describes in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that he's a Jnani Bhakta. So Jnani Bhakta means that he has a mood of awe and reverence towards his Ishtadev, like Lord Narayan or Nrsingadev. So, on the other hand, Madhavendra Puri Pad, he is a special servant of Srimati Radhika. So he's maid servant of Radhika. So, actually, my Gurudev said that his bhakti is most high, very, very high. And he brought this love, this Unata Ujvala Ras, Svabhakti Shriyam, he brought that to this world. So in this way, we're completely indebted to Madhavendra Puri. And Sri Ishvara Puri Pad, he is the disciple of Madhavendra Puri Pad. And he received this Gopi Bhav from him. And he gave that to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that mercy that was bestowed upon Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was also bestowed upon all the Goswamis, Srup Damodar, Ramananda Roy, and like that, coming down in our disciplic succession. So we know this pastime of how Madhavendra Puri Pad, he travelled to Braj and he went to Govardhan. And when he arrived in Govardhan, he became in complete ecstasy, in the ecstasy of Krishna Prem. So he was chanting there, sitting at the foot of Govardhan and chanting there day and night. Sometimes he would do parikrama, Govardhan. So one day, he was taking rest there, and a little boy appeared before him. Very beautiful, very sweet boy. And he was carrying with him a pot of milk. And he said, "Oh, Madhavendra Puri, why are you fasting? Why aren't you begging some food to eat?" And Madhavendra Puri looked up and he saw this beautiful, very attractive young boy. And he said, "Actually, I am sitting here doing my bhajan. But I'm wondering, who are you? And where do you reside? And how did you know that I was fasting?" Then that boy, who was none other than Gopal, he said, "Oh, I am a cowherd boy. And reside in this village. So actually, you should know that no one fasts in this village. If anyone is seen fasting, then very soon I will certainly come and bring him food. So then he said, you know, my mother, she saw that you were fasting for so many days, so she gave me this pot of milk to bring to you, so please take this milk. So then Madhavendra Puri, he accepted the milk, and that cowhead boy, he said, oh, I have to quickly go and return to my mother. Why did he have to quickly go? Because he was thinking that, oh, I don't want that Madhavendra Puri realizes who I am. So then Madhavendra Puri, he started to drink that milk. And then he went into complete ecstasy drinking that milk. And he started to wonder, who was that boy who gave me this milk? He was so beautiful, he was so charming, and he spoke so sweetly. I'm wondering, who is he? And when will he come back? So then Madhavendra Puri, he rested there in that very place, and he was resting there. And then what happened? That very Gopal came to him in a dream, and he said, oh, Madhavendra Puri, my name is Gopal, and I'm the lifter of Govardhan Hill. So I have been actually suffering so much under the ground, behind this bush, under the ground, for so long now. And he took Madhavendra Puri's hand and he led him to that place. He said, you please take me out, because I cannot tolerate being here any longer. So then Madhavendra Puri, he woke up from that dream, and he remembered, oh, Gopal himself came to me. First of all, he came to me as a cowhead boy, and then he came to me in a dream. And oh, I did not recognize him. How is it that I didn't recognize him? So then he remembered his instructions, and then he quickly arranged that some villagers come, and together they discovered Gopal. And then he took that Gopal with the villagers and placed him on top of Govardhan on a stone slab. So then he wanted to bathe Gopal, perform Abhishek. So he called all the villagers, and they had a big festival, and they brought so many offerings like this, and this went on for many days, because all the villagers around, they got to hear of the discovery of Gopal. So then, later on, after some time, then Madhavendra Puri had another dream. And in that dream, Gopal came to him again and said, oh, Madhavendra Puri, look, my body is still so hot. I'm still burning hot, and it hasn't cooled down at all. So please bring Malayan sandalwood to me, so that, and place it on smear it all over my body, so my body can finally cool down. So then Madhavendra Puri, he woke up from that dream again. He said, oh, Gopal again has come to me in a dream. Oh, he's told me that I must go and collect this Malayan sandalwood. So he, without any hesitation, even though he was quite old at that time, he walked all the way to like Puri, where the Malayan hills were. And he, on the way, he stopped in Ramuna. And there he saw the beautiful deity of Gopinath. And again, Gopinath appeared to the Pujari in a dream, and he said that I want you to steal some kheer that I've hid behind the altar here, behind my cloth in the altar. You take that, actually it wasn't kheer, it was sweetened condensed milk. You take that and give it to Madhavendra Puripad. You'll find him in the marketplace. He is there chanting. So then the Pujari followed the instructions of Gopinath, and he was calling out, "Oh, Madhavendra Puripad, Madhavendra Puri, where are you?" And then Madhavendra Puri, he came, and he said, "Oh, you're looking for me?" Pujari said, "Yes. Actually, I have come to give you this special gift that Gopinath himself has stolen for you, this very nectarian sweetened condensed milk. Please, you take it." And he explained about his dream. So Madhavendra Puri, he took that and he tasted such sweet nectar he'd never tasted in his life. And his heart started to melt and tears started to flow from his eyes. All astasattvic bhavs came in his body. But then he thought, if anyone gets to hear about this, then they will surely want to come and find me. But I don't want this name and fame. So he quickly ran away from there. So like Madhavendra Puri, he had no desire whatsoever for name and fame. He, even just the very thought of that, he ran away from that place. So in the same way, we can try to imbibe this quality of Madhavendra Puri, that not to look for acknowledgement, not to look for honor and respect. We may be doing so many services, we may have so much knowledge, we may be able to speak so nicely, we may be able to serve the Vaishnavas so nicely, Guru and Vaishnavas. But maybe some pride will come and we will be looking for honor and respect from other devotees. But that kind of pride, that kind of desire for name and fame should be very, very far away from a devotee. Why? Because that can very much create obstacles on our spiritual path. That can actually even destroy our bhakti lata bij. Because what happens? Pride comes before a fall. So, what was I saying? That Madhavendra Puri, he ran away quickly from there. And he went to Puri. When he got to Puri, he made arrangement for sandalwood. And he collected so much sandalwood and camphor. And then he made arrangement with some servants to bring that sandalwood in bags all the way back to Vrindavan. That's a very long way from Puri to Vrindavan. hundreds and thousands of miles. So then, but Madhavendra Puri, he was prepared to do that. But on the way, he stopped in Ramuna again, and Gopal again came in his dream and told him, actually, no need for you to go all the way back to Vrindavan, because you should know that my body is non-different to Gopinath's. So you can simply offer that sandalwood camphor that you've collected, smear it all over my body, I will accept it. And this will be the same as Gopinath accepting it will be the same as me accepting it. So like this, Madhavendra Puri, he woke up from that dream, and again, he was in ecstasy. Gopal again had come to him in a dream, and he, without any hesitation, he followed that instruction and arranged for this service to Gopinath. So, actually, who was telling this pastime? Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Is there going to be arti? Oh, sorry. Okay, I'll just finish then. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself was telling this pastime to Nityananda Prabhu. And he was telling how that Madhavendra Puri was so greedy to accept the service of Madhavendra Puripad that he personally came to him 3 times directly in dreams. Madhavendra Puri, the Pujari, also on behalf of Madhavendra Puri, and he gave instructions in those dreams so that Madhavendra Puri would have this very, very rare opportunity to do this direct service to Gopal and Gopinath. Why? Due to his intense love for the Lord, he was given this service because he had so much greed in his heart to serve the Lord. So like this, if we have greed in our heart to serve the Lord, then Krishna will also come to us. Radha and Krishna, Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu can also come to us and ask us directly for service. So that great personality traveled so many thousands and thousands of miles to was prepared to travel thousands and thousands of miles to Vrindavan, just to bring that sandalwood to Gopinath. And already he'd traveled so far to Ramuna, and then Puri. So already he'd traveled thousands of miles for the service of Gopinath. And on account of Madhavendra Puri, Gopinath has stolen this sweetened condensed milk for his very dear devotee. So we can only imagine, actually it's inconceivable how great a devotee is Madhavendra Puripad. It's actually completely inconceivable. So I want to say just 2 minutes on Parameshwari Thakur, that he was born in a Vaidya's family, means an Ayurvedic doctor's family, and he was very prominent Vaishnava and close associate of Nityananda Prabhu. Actually is said to be the life and soul of Nityananda. And he was also considered to be one of the Dwadasha Gopals. Dwadasha Gopals means one of the 12 cowhead boys. He was Arjuna Saka in Braj. And he assisted in Mahaprabhu's pastimes. So he was known for his very intense devotion and his astonishing pastimes and dedicated service to Shri Janava Devi. Actually, he would accompany her and her son adopted son, Virabhadra, to all the different holy places wherever they traveled. So he was like their god. And he accompanied the deity of Srimati Radhika, that was sent by Janava Devi to Vrindavan to stand besides Govindaji. So he was the one who brought that deity, Radhika. And it's often said that by remembering his name, then one can attain Krishna Prem. So on this very day also, Radha Raman appeared, and that was through the love and devotion of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, because Gopal Bhatta Goswami had such intense eagerness, such a greed to serve his Shalagram Shila, that and he was lamenting, thinking, oh, if only I could offer so much nice shringar. But it's not possible because Shalagram Shila is round. He's not like in Tribangla Lit form holding a flute and, like Krishna. So then, lamenting in this way, he fell asleep, and that night in his dream, this Radha Raman, he appeared in his dream, and he said, oh, don't worry. You have so much desire, so much eagerness, greed to serve me. And as you wish to serve me, I will manifest before your very eyes. So then when he woke up from that dream, he went to his Shalagram Shila, and the full form of Radhaman, there holding in his Tripangalit form, holding flute. So like that, he became in complete ecstasy, and all Asa-sattvic bhavs came on his body, and he served and worshipped Radha Raman from that time onwards. So, such an auspicious day today, the day that Radha Raman appeared in this world, the day that Srinivas Acarya appeared, along with Madhavendra Puripad, and Parameshwari Thakur disappeared on this day. So, Shri Madhavendra Puripad ki jai, Shri Srinivas Acharya ki jai, Shri Parameshwari Thakur ki jai, Shri Radharaman ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. So I try to repeat something that I've heard from my Gurus, Vaishnavas, if I've heard from the glories of these great personalities and Radharaman. But if I've said anything wrong, made any mistake, then please forgive me. If anything good, then it's only by the mercy of my Gurudev and Vaishnavas. So if anyone has any questions or comments, then please speak out. Otherwise, I don't know if there's going to be Arti now. Yes.
If I remember correctly, maybe I'm mistaken, Madhavendra Puri, he was before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Madhavendra Puri, yes, he was before, because
How come that he didn't start spreading this love of Krishna like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, I was thinking that he was starting this, he got this divine love, but why they didn't? Because they didn't want to, they didn't want to be sannyasis, so they didn't want to do this, because they knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is coming? Or why? Did they chant to themselves, holy bhajan? Or they were also spreading and preparing, or they didn't,
Okay. Yeah. Well, as far as I know, Madhavendra Puripad, he was doing solitary bhajan mostly. And, he had few disciples, and one of them was Ishvara Puripad. And actually, I forgot to mention, Madhavendra Puripad, he composed this beautiful verse. What is it? Hey Deve. Oh, is it? Can anyone remember? Anyway, in complete ecstatic love and separation of Krishna, of Radha and Krishna. And that mood that he was tasting, it said, was only tasted by 3 personalities. I was trying to remember the verse. Hey Devi, hey Bhuvanaika Bandhu. It was only tasted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Srimati Radhika herself, and Madhavendra Puri, of course. So he was always in complete ecstasy, in love for Krishna. And he distributed that in the heart, that love, in the heart of Ishvara Puripad. And Ishvara Puripad gave that very same love in the heart of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Did Madhavendra Puripad know that he was coming? Well, I mean, he was there the time of Advaita Charya. He gave initiation to Advaita Charya. And Advaita Charya received also that ecstatic love from the heart of Madhavendra Puripad. So, yeah, you can say that Madhavendra Puripad, he yeah, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was doing his own bhajan, of course, deeply absorbed in the moods of Srimati Radhika. Like when Krishna left Vrindavan, and Radhika was plunged into a deep ocean of separation in Uddhavikari in Braj. So Mahaprabhu was tasting that mood. But that was in Gambhir, in Puri, during the last 12 years of his life. But before that, what was he doing? He was there in Navadvip Dham as a grihasta, chanting and dancing, distributing this Harinam Sankirtan. And then after he took sannyas, he was traveling in South India for 6 years. So like this, he was distributing this Krishna prem, but where was the root of that Krishna prem? It was coming from the heart of Madhavendra Puripad. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but I was just thinking, how come then, if somebody's more influenced, more like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then obviously wanted more this, because he was this avatar for this.
Mm.
But I was just thinking, why?
Yeah, you could say he not so much externally giving like Mahaprabhu. You could say he left it for Mahaprabhu. yeah. Okay. But he did give to personalities like Advaita Charya, Ishvara Puripad, and others like that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so anyone else, any questions or comments? No? Okay. So, shall I finish there? So, I want to thank everyone here, especially Madhusudan Maharaj, who kindly invited me here and gave me opportunity to speak something about the glories of Nrsingadev, Prahlad Maharaj, and today all these great personalities. And also Shanta Maharaj is here, Nrsinga Maharaj. They're very kind upon me to give me this opportunity, because actually I'm not so qualified like them. They are far more qualified than me. And sorry you had to tolerate listening to me these last few days. But I'm just asking for the mercy, blessings of all Vaishnavas, that I can go on trying to follow my Gurudev's instructions to travel and preach around the world, and somehow please them in this way. Okay, so finish there. Please accept my Dandavat Pranams. Vanchakapatribhyasta kripa sindhubhyo vacha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo